Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the luncheon sponsored by Google and YouTube. Let's give them a round of applause. Google has been a consistent sponsor of AAPC. Most of you probably have never heard of them. They're part of a company that does this interweb thing, whatever. And I've had a difficult time sort of wrapping my head around it and trying to figure it out. And Andrew Roos from the Google political team tried to explain it to me. We worked on campaigns together, and he kept trying to explain how it fits into campaigns, and I couldn't figure it out at all. And finally he said to me, "Doc, Google is what you use to get to the pornography on the web." And I said, "Holy shit, it's the greatest invention since the wheel." And I'll stick by that. Google is the greatest invention since the wheel. We have an exciting program this afternoon, something a little different. And so let me begin by introducing Charles Scrace, Head of Politics and Elections for Google, Inc.
Thank you, Doc. Hopefully that porn comment is going to be edited out of any recording. So one of the things I've heard a lot so far today and a little bit yesterday is that internet is radically changing the way that political campaigns are run. And at Google and YouTube, we're really, really excited to be a part of this transformation. The rise of new technology like online video is giving candidates and elected officials whole new ways to communicate and engage with their constituents and their electorate. Let's start the presentation.
I move Senator Barack Obama be selected by this convention as the nominee of the Democratic Party for President of the United States.
I accept your nomination for presidency of the United States.
I stand ready to lead us down a different path.
Return, and we will work together for Arizona and this great country.
So maybe if I tell you a little about myself, it will explain something about why I'm running for the United States Senate.
Welcome to the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida, the site of our Republican presidential debate.
Maybe you're a part of Google Plus. Maybe you checked out the Google Plus Hangouts. And what are you most listening for tonight?
I'm really looking for someone who can inspire confidence in the economy.
The next question was from Yigal Marcus in New Jersey.
As president, how would you approach the new reality in the Middle East?
That is it for our debate tonight.
Hello, how are you?
Huh? Earmarks, progress, pork, Wall Street, Main Street. Trust me. Trust me.
You want a handout? I don't have something in it, now you're getting mad again, okay?
Above the fruited plain, so in love with you.
Exciting times. Well, the Pollies are really all about awards, so we were thinking what could be more appropriate than just yet another awards ceremony. during the Pollie. So we're going to present some awards today about what we think are some of the best videos to be made for the web over the last year. The winning examples I'm going to show you today demonstrate how candidates up and down the ballot are using YouTube to tell meaningful stories and engage with their constituents in totally different ways. So the first award we have is what we call the Conversation Starter Award. This is a Roger Williams for Congress, the Donkey Whisperer. It's achieved almost 2 million views for a congressional campaign, and we think is a great way to start this conversation today.
You're not a victim. You're a patriot. You're an opportunist. Let's take advantage of it, okay?
They don't listen to me. You know, I've been talking to these guys forever, and they still do not listen. Unbelievable.
You know, all these guys want is they want more shelter, they want more feed, but yet the government's making it harder on me. They're taxing me to death. I can't afford to build that. When I don't build it, they think I owe it to them. See, all you guys want, you want a handout. I don't have something in it, now you're getting mad again, okay? Years ago, we didn't have this problem, but now it's just a hassle to get them to do anything. Don't turn your head. I know you're embarrassed because you're part of the problem, all right? But we can turn it around. These donkeys don't live in the United States of France. They live in the United States of America. They're going to have to get with it. You all heard me talk about the Constitution. Have you ever heard of the Constitution? It's a great document. They keep thinking that Obama's going to take care of them, that Obama's going to feed them, Obama's going to build their barn. Look, if I can get Obama out of health care and we start that, I can get these teeth fixed that you got, okay? I can get them fixed, all right? But he's got to get away. He's got to let me do the things I need to do. See those big ears? You still can't hear me. Unbelievable.
The Stories Worth Sharing Award is an award that we're giving for keeping our spirits high. And I think everyone knows the story of Gabrielle Giffords. What you might not know is that she used the YouTube and the internet to deliver this message to 500,000 or almost 1 million Americans.
Arizona is my home, always will be. A lot has happened over the past year. We cannot change that. But I know on the issues we fought for, we can change things for the better. Jobs, border security, veterans. We can do so much more by working together. I don't remember much from that horrible day, but I will never forget the trust you placed in me to be your voice. Thank you for your prayers and for giving me time to recover. I have more work to do on my recovery, so to do what is best for Arizona, I will step down this week. I'm getting better. Every day, my spirit is high. I will return, and we will work together for Arizona and this great country. Thank you very much.
The next award that we're giving out is what we call the Defining Moment Award. This award goes to the Obama campaign, and it's about this best narrative and impact with 3 million views in just 2 weeks. And it's more than just the number of views, it's the fact that this video kind of helps us to define what's possible in terms of format online. It's a 17-minute video, and don't worry, we're not going to show you the whole thing right now.
How do we understand this president and his time in office? Do we look at the day's headlines, or do we remember what we as a country have been through?
The president-elect is here in Chicago, and he's named the members of the economic team, and they all fly in for the first big briefing on the economy.
What was described in that meeting was an economic crisis beyond anything anybody had imagined.
Our time of standing pat, of protecting narrow interests and putting off unpleasant decisions, that time has surely passed.
His advisors would ask where to begin. Which urgent need would he put first?
Which is 1, which is 2, which is 3, which is 4, which is 5? Where do you start?
If we don't do this now, it will be a generation before 30 million people have health insurance.
If the auto industry goes down, what happens to America's manufacturing base? What happens to jobs in America? What happens to the whole Midwest?
The entire national security apparatus was in that room. And now we had to make a decision, go or not go. As he walked out the room, it started to dawn on me, he's all alone. This is his decision, and nobody is standing there with him.
All right, we're going to finish up today. With what we call our Leave You Speechless Award. So, best use of celebrity power and best running man. This winning video is by the Ed Lee campaign, a number of folks that helped create it, but also promote it effectively online.
You know, I'm thinking about endorsing Ed Lee for mayor.
Ed Lee, isn't he just the interim mayor, though?
Yeah, but he's got to keep on going. He's too good to step down.
Too smart to dart. He's too proper to stop. Hey, who ate up all my apple butter?
What up, San Francisco? Stand up! Music hits me so hard. Knew some left and they put them in charge. Thank you for blessing me and the rest of the city with Mayor Ed Lee. Got us all saying run, lead, run. Only 5'5" when he gets done. So cut them other candidates and find a bus pass. Unless you riding with us, fit a mustache.
Let's be honest, folks. If your last name's Lee, you're kind of sweet.
Vote for Ed Lee. You're the mustache.
Ed Lee is too legit to quit.
Bruce Lee, Tommy Lee, Sarah Lee, Mott Lee, Crew.
Ed, you're too legit to quit.
He's too legit to quit. Ed Lee, for mayor. Do it now.
That's it. I'd like to say thank you. Hopefully you laughed, maybe you even cried, but most importantly, we hope that you are all inspired to come and make the new wave of innovation on the web with online video.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our luncheon general session speaker today, Lucas Watson, who's Vice President for Global Sales and Industry Marketing for Google, Inc. I think this is going to be tremendous, and you better not suck. Prior to joining Google, he spent 17 years with Procter & Gamble, where he transformed P&G's branding building approach to the digital age. And we were talking earlier, this is phenomenal. This is incredible. He worked with Old Spice to do the Isaiah campaign, which was, you remember the guy, the really good-looking guy was on the horse, and he said, you know, look at me, look at your man, look at me, I'm the man on the horse. Tremendous campaign, 250 million unique hits on YouTube. So with that said, Lucas, let's get up here and break a leg. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for having me, everybody. I appreciate it. And it's always tough to follow lunch, so I figured what a better way if we are the video guys to start with a little video. We watched some good video earlier today, and we always figure it's a good icebreaker. So without further ado, I'd love to jump into a little video to get us started.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
All right, pretty good, right? Yeah. Just as a quick show of hands, how many people had seen that video before today? That is incredible. Okay? This is a company that didn't exist 11 days ago. Okay? It existed, but they had not launched 11 days ago. In 11 days, raise those hands again. Everybody who had seen it before today. 11 days. There's no television. Okay? That was launched on the internet. The brand name is Dollar Shave Club. You trust that guy beyond belief, and he's already out of stock. Okay? It was so overwhelming that they weren't ready from the product supply standpoint. They can't ship enough razors right now. It is flying off the shelf. That video in 11 days with no television support has been watched 4.1 million times already. Okay? It struck such a chord with men who are tired of paying Gillette, my old company, $20 for razor blades. Okay? That it completely captured the zeitgeist of how guys were feeling right now. All right, so I just want you to capture for a minute that thing had probably 25, 30% brand awareness, okay? And they haven't even started the television yet. So just keep that in mind as we talk all day today, because that's where I want people to think about, is there's something about getting into the conversation among people that's really going to be crucial. So let's go back a ways. This has been the model that's worked for years. We speak, you vote, or you buy. Right? If we do it enough times, if I pound you over the head with 1,000 points, you will vote. Okay? But as we were talking yesterday, right? 30 out of 100 people are going to show up to vote in a state or a local election. 12 are going to vote for the Republicans, 12 are going to vote for the Democrats, and there may be 6 people at play in the middle. And really, there's only 4, as these guys were telling me last night. There's probably only 4 at play. And you're trying to move those last 4 people, and the model to date has just been pound them over the head, pound them over the head, pound them over the head, and hopefully we'll get that last person to swing to our favor, and we win. Okay? But I'd argue that the world's gotten a little bit more complex. I was just walking around, and I'm fighting for your attention right now. I guarantee you that at least a third of this room is looking at their cell phone instead of at me right now. Okay? Say it ain't true. That's right. But you know what? When we come to running our campaigns, they don't actually use their mobile phones or their tablets. They're watching our television. Okay? We all know there's a lot more screens out there that are competing for people's attention. That's both a risk, it's also an opportunity. Right? You have the opportunity to connect and influence with people in so many different ways if you choose to take advantage of it. Or you can keep coming through the main screen and just do one-way trick, and you're going to fight for all this fragmented attention. People looking at their iPads, looking at their iPods, looking at their laptop. This is what an American home looks like today. Mary Meeker will tell you there's going to be 10 billion internet-connected screens over the next couple of years. Only 1.5 billion of them are televisions. That means 8.5 billion or something else. Viewers voting, their viewing behaviors are changing, okay? And it's changing really, really fast. In 2009, if you looked at people's viewing behavior of online video, it looked like that W-shaped curve, the dotted line, okay? And just in 2 years, it's completely changed to where now the viewing behavior of online video peaks during primetime TV time. Why is that? Okay? It used to be that 2 years ago, I would go watch video at work because I had broadband connection, and then all the guys would get on late night when they're drinking beers and they watch silly videos on YouTube. Okay? But in the last 2 years, what's launched? This iPad thing, this tablet. The tablet, the laptop computer, the wireless broadband in the home has moved it into the living room, and all those screens I just showed you in the last picture, people are multitasking and watching video online in the living room. It's moved into prime time. That's 2 years old. The last election you ran, this didn't happen, okay? The world has changed, and it's a lot faster than people realize. The other piece is that the online world and the offline world work magically well together. All this chart really is showing you is that when TV weight is heavy, you know what happens? Search volume goes through the roof. When you say something on television, people go to the internet and start looking for it. It's clear as day. When all of our Google data shows us that you run weight on television, the first thing people do is run to that search bar and start looking. And the question is, are you there when they start looking? Again, we used to have so many fewer choices, right? 1975, I had CBS, NBC, Fox, and the New York Times for effect. People today are much more nuanced. They're much more complex in how they get their information, how they make their decisions, and how they're influenced. We did a study that people use on average 14.7 different sources of information and influence to make up their mind about who they're going to vote for. Okay? And it's not NBC, CBS, and Fox. Okay? It's a little bit of what my friend says on Twitter. It's a little bit of what my dad tells me on email. It's what I read on Tumblr. It's what I see on YouTube. It's what I read in the Huffington Post. It's coming from all different angles. And my only challenge to you is your candidate showing up in the places where I'm getting my information? If you embrace this concept, if you embrace the concept that different screens can be used to your advantage, you can reach a lot of different people. Okay? I'm sure you recognize this on a top level, but the data is really compelling when you look at it. Okay, if I took all 100 people in this room and I split them into fifths on how much television they watch, I can give you heavy users that watch 7.3 hours a day, okay, and I can give you light users that watch less than an hour and a half. And they're very, very different people, okay? The heaviest watchers of television in the United States tend to be older, they tend to have a high school education, and they tend to be lower income. The lightest TV viewers tend to be younger, more diverse, college educated, and higher income. I'm not here to tell you who you're trying to reach as a voter for your candidate, but you better understand how the people you're serving and the people you need to win, those 4 out of 100 that you need to move, you better understand where they fall in this continuum. And I hope you're not hammering them over the head with television when they're sitting there doing something else with their lives. The ones who are watching the least amount of TV are also the most politically active. Okay? They're the most likely to write a politician. They're most likely to participate in a rally. They're the most likely to go to an event. They're most likely to organize other people. Okay? So even if you already have their vote or they're not actually important to your vote, they're the people who are going to move other people to vote. And my question to you is, what are you doing to engage them and arm them with the tools you need, with the tools they need to move the vote? It's all sitting there for your taking if you choose to take advantage of it. If we haven't hit this enough, they're also massively active online. They're watching video, they're posting the social graph, right? They're posting to Twitter, they're reading Tumblr, they're going and reading TechCrunch, HuffPost, you name your Colbert Report, whatever it is, okay? They're on there reading, and they're doing it online. It happens. And if you don't believe me, I'm the digital guy. I come from P&G. I know very little about politics, quite honestly. But our friend Karl Rove, as I understand it, has a lot of influence in this room. And he basically is saying, like, this is the year. If not now, when? So it all sounds well and good, but let's put it against a real stress test in the world of politics. Let's talk about South Carolina for a minute, okay? South Carolina, politically important state from what I understand, and also a very diverse state. As I was reading an article, there's a lot of different things in politics going on in South Carolina. And oh, by the way, it's 6th from the bottom in terms of internet usage in the United States. Okay, this is a worst case scenario. This is where my grandparents live. They don't use the internet. Okay, they're politically interested, and it's a tough case to try to reach these folks with the internet. The reality is, and this, by the way, this happened. My dad is 72 years old, and he sent me a long, scathing email this morning about how Obama was going to ruin 2012, and if you want to know what the next 4 years are going to be like, just move to California, which I had just done, by the way. But he pulled it off the internet, and he sent it to me. Okay, my dad's 72, hard right-wing Republican, not on Facebook, but he's still in the social graph, and he's still looking online. He's doing his research, and he's trying to influence me on how I'm going to vote. Okay? And the data backs it up. In South Carolina, 70%, and this was done by remind me again, what's the Public Opinion Strategies. Okay, this is apparently the research firm that you guys use in your industry. It's not Google data. It's not P&G data. It's the political industry data. 70% of people go online to figure out what they're going to do about voting. Okay? They're reading articles, they're watching videos, they're participating in the social conversation. Even in the most internet-lacking state, or the 6th most internet-lacking state in the union. Okay, if it's happening in South Carolina, just imagine for a minute what New York is like, or California, okay, or Ohio. It's happening. So I'd like to suggest to you for a minute that maybe we need to change our approach. Remember back to the beginning when we started, we said, we speak, you vote. Right? We give you the message, carefully honed, message tested. We figure out what's going to be persuasive. We hammer it with 1,000 points, and then you're going to go vote on Tuesday in November. But maybe there's something to think about what we're calling the 0 moment of truth. This is all the action that happens between I've started the conversation with some sort of message that I want you to think about, and when the time you actually vote. And it's a lot more complex and nuanced, and it requires social skills to figure out how to weave yourself into that conversation than just hammering them over the head. So we're calling it the 0 moment of truth. And you say, well, that's great. Well, how do I go do it? Right? I'd like to be in this 0 moment of truth. I'd like to be there when my candidate is at stake in terms of the social conversation. So how do I do it? We'd like to introduce, you might have gone to business school or marketing, school, and they taught you the 4 Ps, right? Price, promotion. I can't remember what they are anymore. I learned them so long ago. So we'll give you 5 Ps, and they're all different than the ones you had before. They're pulse, they're pace, precision, participation, and persuasion. Okay, and I'm going to fly through each one really quickly and just give you a thought of how to think about them as a framework that you might apply to your campaign for this year. Pulse is all about listening and responding, right? There are so many cues going on right around you as you guys all check your phones on what is the zeitgeist and the feeling of the population in this minute. You guys do your opinion surveys, you get a read on favorability, but you could have a live, and some of you probably do this in spades already today, you can have a live time feed telling you exactly what the feeling of the population is in your country, in your state, in your county at any given time if you choose to set it up. Okay? And if you're going to win the next election, I would argue that you better be in tune with what the voters are telling you day by day, week by week. And if you choose to use things like Google Analytics, or you choose to use a social listening piece of software, you can get it. Right here, through our search query volume, we can tell you that healthcare reform was hot on March 1st, 2010. Okay? Really hot. So the question is, are you there? People are looking for it. They want to talk about it. Is your candidate putting into his Facebook conversation feed at that point something about healthcare, or is he off talking about financial reform, which nobody cared about at that point? Okay? The voters are giving you signals every day if you choose to listen to them. The second is pace. Okay? Again, I'm not a campaign expert on how to run campaigns, but I built a lot of brands at P&G over a long time. And there was always the model of what I call boom and bust, right? Let's go do a big Super Bowl ad, put a lot of weight on for 8 weeks. We're launching a new product, a new laundry detergent, whatever. And then magically we'd run out of money and the game would be over, okay? People take a lot more time than you think to make their decisions, and there's a much more efficient way to be sort of always on and influencing the conversation at the right moment, at the right time when people are actually receptive to your message. The research that we've done shows that the consideration cycle for when people start thinking about politics, elections, and who they're going to vote for probably starts a lot earlier than when your marketing behavior starts. Okay? I know because I sell YouTube, and I can look at the calendar in October, and I thank you for all the business you guys have already bought for October. Okay? But I can tell you, you guys haven't bought too much in June, July, and August, and that's when people are starting to think about this. Our data would suggest that most people are working 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months out is when they start thinking about it. And by the way, it's a lot cheaper to buy then. And by the way, people's ears are much more open and receptive. You can break through as opposed to everybody shouting at once in the last 30 days. So the question is, do you have the right pacing in your campaign, or are you a boom and bust in the last 4 weeks? Hang on, can we go, I'm sorry, can we go back one? I just lost one slide there. Let's see if we can go forward one, sorry. The other thing on this pacing thing is that speed can beat perfection, okay? I was at P&G, and at P&G for a long time, we always tried to be perfect before launch. Message copy tested, all the pieces working together, and sometimes we were just late. And what I've learned by going to Google, Google has unbelievable speed, and you guys in the campaign business are probably the best at speed of anybody in the world, okay? But it's better to be first sometimes than to be right and late. This example from Betty Crocker and Kraft was just an example about launching an app for recipes. And Betty Crocker launched first about 6 months before Kraft, and their app wasn't the best, and it actually had a few bugs in it, but they secured 81,000 users, and Kraft launched 6 months later, and they couldn't break through because everybody had already downloaded the Betty Crocker app. Okay? And I find this all the time at Google. In the same way that we have trouble with Google Plus against Facebook, Facebook already has the network effect. They're hard to crack in because they went first. Okay? But on search, people have a hard time getting into us because we went first. We have an advantage because we've been learning and adapting all the way along. So sometimes to be first and fast is better than being late and right. There's also an opportunity to be precise. I don't know about you, but when I watch television on Thursday night and I'm watching Modern Family at 8:30, I get the exact same ad that you get, and that you get, and that you get. We all get the same ad. If it's Ron Paul, it's Ron Paul. If it's Obama, it's Obama. Okay? But the internet gives you such wonderful opportunity. There's all these different issues, right? There is healthcare reform, there's finance, there's taxes, there's good for the environment. Different things matter to different people. And you have such a great chance to show up as, one, you're paying attention, you're listening to the audience, your voters, and you are caring about what they care about if you choose to take advantage of it. The internet gives you this, and you can't really do this on TV. And so as an example, we found this just recently. There's a New York Times article, okay, about pets. All right, my parents are both pet lovers. They have 2 dogs. They love them. They would read this article in the New York Times, online, by the way. And here's Obama showing up with Join Pet Lovers for Obama. Are you in? Okay? The guy's smart. I mean, he is pivoting off the fact that this is pet content, and this is a pet lover who's probably reading this, and he's saying, I'm paying attention to you. I love pet lovers. Come join me. Okay? I trust him already more than I did yesterday because he's paying attention. Are you doing that with your candidate in your campaign? There's an element of participation. Okay, remember old model. We speak, you vote. Okay? The thing that works so magically about Old Spice that we did at P&G, the thing you're probably tired of hearing about with Barack Obama, and so many other of the best marketing that's happening in the world right now, is that brands have realized that it's not about me controlling the message and pounding you with it. It's about inviting all of you to participate in the creation of the message and to bring it to others that might care. We moved from a model where we used to be brand managers at P&G, and we used to think about those consumers that we would deliver our message to. And we started to think about how do we unlock our ambassadors to become an army of brand managers on our behalf so they could carry the message in a far more influential and far more human way to the people that need to be influenced. And so the question is, do you have a social life and are you participating, right? This is a bad picture of Barack, but a few months ago, Barack hosted a hangout on Google Plus, on YouTube, okay, where he had a live video conference with 10 people from around the world that was then simultaneously watched by 250,000 other people, where he, in essence, had a virtual town hall with the people that represented a cross-section of America, okay? Live chat, live video conference, all basically for free. Just use YouTube, Google Plus for free. Your campaign could do that tomorrow if you chose to take advantage of it. It makes him so much more human, so much more forward-thinking and in touch with where the constituency is headed, okay? And it's all free to you. The question is, are you unlocking and encouraging the people that you serve to become part of your army of ambassadors on behalf of your candidate, or are you just treating them like an object to be messaged to? And then the last one is persuasion. There's really a chance to influence more optimally, okay? Remember, we go all the way back to the beginning where I showed you all those screens and all those things competing for your attention, right? Well, the data is unmistakable. We've done study after study, and it keeps coming back and telling us that because people watch different screens in different ways and different people use them in different amounts, that if you could actually show up on all 4 of them, you will increase your reach, your recall, and your level of engagement or persuasion massively versus if you just use one of them. Okay, so this is a study that took a TV-only campaign, and they took the same amount of money and they spread it across all 4 screens. And when they spread it across all 4 screens, people recalled the message 24 points more, and their level of engagement with the campaign went up by 17 points. Okay, the data is unmistakable. I saw this at P&G. I see it at Google. I get study after study that proves this, and it makes sense. Some of you are looking at your phones. Some of you are looking at your tablets. Some of you are looking at your TV. And you know what? Sometimes you'll connect the dots, and the two will work better together than alone. So I just want to close with, are you really going to wait until 2016 to get started? A lot has changed. Remember, I work at YouTube, okay? YouTube was started 6 years ago. Today we serve 800 million people a month who watch 4 billion videos a day. Okay? When Obama got elected, YouTube had no revenue. Today, YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar media brand. That's the difference between one election. I don't know what 2016 is going to look like, but I don't know that you can afford to wait. So why not try to win the Zero Moment of Truth this year? Use Pulse to be in touch with people. Use Pace. Get it started early. Leverage the fact that you can get influencers going earlier than you think. Use Precision to show up as being relevant at the time when somebody's open to hearing your message. Encourage people to participate. Be part of the movement as opposed to being spoken to. And be persuasive. Use the screens for what they can do. Get people to move their behavior because you use the screens well. So, in closing, what's the risk? It's measurable. You get instant feedback on whether it's working. You can change on a dime. And it's in line with how people are living today. I thank you for your time. I appreciate taking the time to listen to somebody who's not from your industry. I hope this has been helpful. And I appreciate all the effort today. So thank you. I was just saying, if you want to do Q&A, I'd be happy to take a couple questions if I can answer anything. So the question was, we recently launched a branch to help people reach Hispanic consumers. Are we going to launch a division to help people reach Hispanic voters? And the short answer is I hope that our Hispanic team is going to help people reach voters. That's a hugely important issue. And if we're not working on it, I will go make sure we are working on it because it makes a huge amount of sense. Makes a huge amount of sense. And targeting in Spanish. I can't guarantee it, but I will go look. That's a great, if we can't do it, we should. It's a great point. I will go ask. We're doing that. Yes, the answer is we're doing that. All right. Other questions? Can't see. Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for all your engagement. Oh, wait, we do have one more, huh? Sorry, okay. We'll do one last one. Yes. So the question was, it takes a long time for a mobile phone to download a video. What are you doing to make it better? The good news is YouTube is the best in the world at it. And the bad news is it's still not fast enough. I'll tell you that Google is built on a culture of speed. And we have, both for the television and for the mobile phone, a goal to, by the end of the year, which I will now pull forward to be by the election, what we call zero latency. There are about 400 engineers sitting back in San Bruno, California, working on YouTube every day, and there's a whole team built on zero latency. Trust me, we get paid on viewership, and every time we have that little spinning circle that says downloading, people fall off massively. So our interests are aligned, and we are working as fast as we can to make it better. I'll tell you, if I were to pick up a phone from a year ago versus today, it is already massively better, and we recognize until you have 100% perfection, we're going to keep going on it. But if there's any company that can get speed right, I have a lot of faith in the Google engineers. But it's a great point. Thank you. Cool. Well, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.